For the very best. Time for Bottom Line with Adwoluwapo Omonde. Bottom Line, expanding capacity for political participation. It is time for Bottom Line with Adwoluwapo Omonde. Bottom Line, expanding capacity for political participation. Oliver Tambo, Tetana Bona. Oliver Tambo, Tetana Bona. Oliver Tambo, Tetana Bona. Oliver Tambo, some trust in chariots and some in horses, but we put our trust in our God. They are broken and fallen, but we are risen and stand upright. Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, the Southwest region. Ibadan City, good morning. Oyo State, good morning. Welcome to Bottom Line on Impact Business Radio, IBR 92.5 FM, Ibadan. I am your regular host, Adwoluwapo Omonde. We are live on Facebook, IBR 925 FM, Ibadan. As you watch, like, comment, and share. Thank you. We're also live on Twitter at IBR925FM Ibadan. That's our Twitter handle. But endeavor to copy me or you tag me on at Adwoluwapo OM10. This morning we're going to be looking at political development at both the national level and development in Oyo State. I have a panelist in the house. We're going to start with political development at the national level. There will be election in February 2023, presidential and National Assembly election. But of course, there are things you should be aware of. There are things you should know. I will start by informing you that we have many presidential candidates, and we quickly start by intimating you with their names and that of their running mates. The decision is that of Nigerians to make, but in order to make informed decision, you must be aware of what's going on. And so you have Abiola Kolawole as the presidential candidate of the People's Redemption Party, PRP. His running mate is Ribi Mashal. Rabiu Musa Kwakwanso is the presidential candidate of New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP. Johnson Oladipopo is his running mate. Sani Yabagi is the candidate of the Action Democratic Party, ADP. Udo Oke Okoro is his running mate. The Young Progressives Party, YPP, has Ado Ibrahim Abdulmalik as its presidential candidate. Eyina Kasarachi is his running mate. Omoyele Sowore is the candidate of the African Action Congress, AAC. Garba Magashi is his running mate. Peter Obi is the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. Dati Baba Ahmed is his running mate. Amsa Mustafa is the presidential candidate of the Action Alliance, AA. Chukwuka Johnson is his running mate. Bola Tinubu is the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Kashim Shettima is his running mate. Dabere Chukwu Wanyao is the presidential candidate of the Zenith Labour Party. Ramalan Abubakar is his running mate. Dumebika Chiku is the presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, ADC. Ahmed Mani is his running mate. though there are conflicting reports as to whether he still stands as the presidential candidate, because the African Democratic Congress, ADC, says it has suspended its presidential candidate. Atiku Abubakar is the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Ifeanyi Okowa is his running mate. Mamman is the presidential candidate of the Allied People's Movement, APM. OJ Princess is his running mate. Chukwudi Umabe is the presidential candidate of the All Progressives Grand Alliance. Koli Mohammed is his running mate. Oluwafemi Adenuga is the presidential candidate of the Boot Party, BP. Turaku Mustafa is his running mate. And so, it is not limited to the names you've been hearing alone. There are many others. Now, it behoves you as a prospective voter, right, to search through. You want to know the profile of these ones. We will, try our best as much as possible to tell you things you need to know. But of course, maybe going beyond this will mean money must be dropped to go beyond this. But there are names out there, and I've given you many of them. I've given you these names. So the decision is yours to ask, because most times there is usually this debate as to whether this race is between some persons. Though in every race there will be pretenders, there will be contenders. It depends on where individual belongs. Now, something happened in Rivers State during the course of the week. Celestine Omehia has his photograph removed from the Rivers State Executive Chamber. The reason why this must be trudged is for precedent's sake. If it has happened in Rivers State, can it happen everywhere? Though some persons will argue that the circumstances and facts of these cases differ. Celestine Omehia was sworn in May 2008, 2007, and the courts actually sacked him about 6 months after, and so he ceased being the governor around November that same year. Rotimi Amaechi is his cousin. He did not give him the due recognition as the governor. In 2015, when Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State took over, the Rivers State House of Assembly passed a resolution to back the recognition of Omehia as a former governor of the state after Amaechi's exit from power in 2015. Nyesom Wike organized an elaborate ceremony alongside leaders of the PDP in Rivers State to mark the recognition of Omehia as one of the former governors of the state. At that time, Wike led others to hang the photograph of Omehia at the Government House Executive Chamber to symbolically recognize him as a former governor despite the court ruling. But yesterday, the same man that hung his photograph a few years back removed it. Now, according to him, he did that because he's been given legal advice, and the Rivers State House of Assembly actually passed a resolution. Now, after removing the photograph, I want you to listen to what Governor Nyesom Wike said, because according to him, it has nothing to do with politics. Unfortunately, many people are politicizing it. Listen to Governor Nyesom Wike of Rivers State.
Let me, on behalf of the government and people of the state, most sincerely thank Mr. Speaker and his colleagues. Yesterday, I received a resolution from the Assembly recognizing Sir Celestine Omehia, who has enjoyed the privilege of the former governor of the state. But you recollect that sometimes in 2007, 2008, my predecessor, His Excellency Rotimi Chibigamechi, did not recognize Sir Celestine as a former governor of the state. When we came on board, there are a lot of issues, and the Assembly felt that having served as governor, he should enjoy the status of a former governor. I've always respected resolutions of the Assembly. I've never one day disagreed with anything Assembly has sent to me. Yesterday you heard when, if you watch the program, when the leader of the House said that they have better facts. And what are the facts? The facts are, as they explained, that the judgment of Supreme Court categorically stated that Sir Celestine was never a governor because he never stood for any election, and that it would be inappropriate for their legacy that they did not respect the judgment of Supreme Court. In this part of our country, people will praise you when it suits them. But when you do the uncommon things, people will not praise you. And that's why leadership is key. When you even know that you have done the wrong thing, but as a leader, you come up to say, look, what we did was wrong. Let us right it. That is hallmark of leadership. So many people will bring in politics. Once you know that your conscience is clear and you are doing the right thing, you don't bother yourself, you move on and do the work you're supposed to do. When you did it in 2015, 2016, people were praising you that that was right. When you have now said, look, no, we did the wrong thing, let's do the right thing, those that are not happy will always not, they would no longer praise. So for you, what's important is, can people take the copy of the judgment of Supreme Court and what the Supreme Court say? So when they told Bidix yesterday, I have to call the Attorney General for him to give me his legal opinion as regards the resolution of the Assembly. And rightly, the Attorney General is superior that they are right. That in the first instance, the recognition was extrajudicial, that the Assembly has no power to change the judgment of any court, not to talk about even Supreme Court. Not to talk about even Supreme Court. So people should understand and not to begin to play politics. I watched the schooling by. They said Umeha was my ally, but now as a member of the Presidential Campaign Council. What has that got to do with the Assembly doing the right thing if they think what they have done is wrong? Posterity will catch up with you. Remember last time when the National Assembly, when they were making the amendment of the Electoral Act, everybody said they should include the card reader. And that was 2000 and...
Nyesom Wike, the governor of Rivers State there. I have with me this morning Mr. Eze Harrison. A very good morning to you, Mr. Eze Harrison.
Good morning, Mr. Morinde.
Thank you so much. Mr. Eze Harrison is a political analyst. Thank you so much. And of course, Mr. Sumbo Badejoko is also here. A very good morning to you.
Good morning, listeners.
Okay, let me start with you, Mr. Harrison. You've heard the governor of Rivers State in 2015. The House gave due recognition to Celestine Omehia, and all the benefits of a former governor were given to him. As we speak, about 659 million naira thereabout, is to be recovered from him, because the State House of Assembly said he should refund everything that has been given to him. The question is, what could have changed in 2022? The same assembly is reversing itself.
You see, when there are divided political interests, statements will change. Even when it is unconstitutional, statements will change. There is a fallout between the present serving governor and the young man in question, Celestine. And that fallout was what made the House to revisit their decision, now coming up with the fact that they just discovered. Didn't they look into the case properly before declaring him a past governor of the state? Why is it now that there is differences? There is, a matter that is bringing a separation between the present governor and the young man, Celestine, that they now went back to reverse a position they have put him in the past, how many years now? All right. So there are something that went wrong between the present governor and Celestine. That is just the fact.
What went wrong?
What went wrong is that presently, if you look at the crisis rocking the People Democratic Party in Rivers State, which is affecting them even up to national level, is a very good reason. All right? Now, there are offices, there are positions that a lot of these big politicians in the PDP are juggling for. And somehow, I was expecting that I should be in the best position to man this position for the progress of our party, and suddenly somebody I made what he is eating, made for what he's eating today, was picked instead of me. So that is going to create a kind of face-off.
Okay.
And that is exactly
what is
went wrong
happening.
there.
Mr. Sumbo Badejoko, what could have changed? Let me ask, would you say the State House of Assembly has the power to do what it has done? Give recognition, withdraw the recognition and all that? Is it within the purview? Let's establish that first. Is it within the purview of the State House of Assembly, Rivers State House of Assembly, to do all of these?
Well, the first thing we have to establish here is the fact that I'm not a lawyer. And but as far as I know, it is not within their powers to grant such recognition, because it is an aberration. And so when they did it now, before we came on live, I was asking that why did they grant the recognition in the first place? It's just sheer politics, because he knew that he was an opponent of his immediate predecessor, talking about Rotimi Amaechi. And in order to cast aspersion upon the man, to spite him, rubbish his legacy, which was what he embarked upon immediately he came up as governor. And that decision was part of what was done. Now, talking about the assembly, you and I, including Chivese here, know that all state assemblies are sworn to the aprons of the governors. They are rubber stamp. Whatever they do is what the governors want. Now, yes, he's saying to the press that it is that you cannot recognize the resolution of the House, but it's actually his wish that was granted by the House of Assembly. So we should not be pretending about that. That is the way.
Was his wish that Celestine Omehia should lose his status as a former governor of the state?
Now, if you want to be fair here, he does not deserve that status in the first place. He doesn't, because he was not the one. He wasn't elected as a governor. You don't just.
He was sworn in error.
He was, yes.
Okay.
And that was quickly corrected. And of course, it's a precedent that still stands till date as far as taking oath of office is concerned. That was what led to the fact that votes are being cast to the political parties and not the candidates. So if that had not been the case, he could have said, we could be saying that yes, he was elected, probably in error, but the decision then was that the vote was to the PDP and not to Celestine Omehia.
So you sense politics at play here.
That is what it's about. That's what this whole thing is about. Now that they are falling apart, So he had to do what? They recognize him as the
Wike
governor.
is saying it has nothing to do with
What do you expect
politics.
him to
Because as we speak, Celestino Mejia belongs to the Atiku camp. Okay, he was listed as a member of Atiku presidential campaign.
What do you expect Wike to say? He wouldn't want to put that in front of everybody. He wouldn't want to say that to the press. But within him, he knew what he is doing. He knew why he has done this. He knew the assembly has simply granted his own wish and not their own idea. So that's the thing, because they belong to the same camp, and with the feud he's having with the presidential candidate, he is not expecting any member of his camp to go contrary to what they've agreed upon.
Okay, so let's talk about intolerance ahead of the 2023 elections. Mr. Eze, if you look at what is happening, some persons will accuse Nyesom Wike of being intolerant, as the case may be. Now, you remember that the Labour Party had wanted to have a rally in support of their presidential candidate in Kaduna State. Nasir El-Rufai came out warning them and all that. It happened in some states, though they went ahead, had the rally and all that. In Lagos State, the Labour Party has alleged that its billboard and election materials are being destroyed and all that. How do we deal with all of this? But you look at it from another angle. At a time like this, you get to hear all of these. Some will call it false alarm. Others will argue, no, it has, some elements of truth and all that. How do we deal with intolerance?
Thank you. Generally in the Nigeria political scene, intolerance has been a great problem within the political class, within the political cycle, because the way we play politics here is not on fair ground. Everyone would want to do whatsoever that is within his capacity to, one, demoralize, two, to defame his opponents. And especially when you have a perceived threat while going into the election. So they all go out to make sure that the image of the party and their candidate is tarnished by whatsoever means they could. And that is what has led to the report we are hearing of the destruction of the billboards and some other things of the Labour Party in Lagos State. I got that report from my in-law, who is working in Lagos, of those things. They are actually true. But the fact is that it's not supposed to be so. All right? It's not supposed to be so. If you don't have an ulterior motive going into an election, you shouldn't be doing everything to get there at all costs, even at the detriment of others. It is not done. So the issue of we not being able to accommodate our opponent to have a fair play on the field is a very bad situation that we have been faced in this country long ago.
Mr. Badijuku, let me come back to you. Looking at this allegation, you got to hear, of this. Even the politicians will tell you that it's possible that I will go out at night, destroy my personal property and come out the following day alleging just to score cheap political points and all that. Is it true it happens this way? Then who is threatening here? For instance, looking at Lagos State's, scenario, if the allegation is anything to go by.
Well, it's part of politics.
It's part of the game.
I used to call politicians actors. They play a lot of drama, especially when elections are near. And you begin to wonder, remember the case of Oshun, campaign office being burnt down, or people being attacked and all of that. And the deniers that followed, because it's going to be their wars against each other. We are just observers ahead. These things did not happen. They said he got the report from an in-law.
A resident.
You understand? Whether or not the person witnessed it live is another thing entirely. But of course, the real something close to the truth will be more in circulation in Lagos than in places like this. We will only believe on why we don't rely on what we hear from the media reports. But the thing is, it all borders on the fact that 95% of our politicians are not disciplined. They are not at all. And this act of indiscipline is what is playing out. That's why they have no control over their followers. You understand what I'm saying? If you're on my payroll and I've not given you an instruction to carry out an act, and you went ahead to do it, you are off my payroll the next day. Especially if I found that to be true. So these are things that, and the set of people that goes about following them are what we call miscreants. These are unlearned people who do not understand the issues.
Is it peculiar to Nigeria?
Well, if you want to go by what happened in the United States in the last election, we could say yes, it's becoming a global thing. When you have desperados in contest, that would happen, because the followers would go all out to want to protect the interests. As far as I'm concerned, that happening in Lagos is uncalled for.
Okay, Mr. Eze, let's look at the level of preparation of our candidates. I mean the presidential candidates. Have given out the names. Do you see issues? Can you feel it that okay, a presidential contest is here? Some of them are just designing manifestos and all that at this time when you emerged months ago. Now, because your quality of preparation determines. So let's begin to beam such light right from now. How prepared would you say our presidential candidates are?
Their preparation in terms of mustering a lot of funds, money with them, is on the high level. But intellectually and what they could deliver to the people in honest way, no, they are not prepared. Let me say this. You see, we lost it from the time we don't have parties of ideologies. That is the time we lost it. If we have maintained that standard of politics, that this is the ideology I am following and I am sticking to it, we will not have this issue of migrations. We will not have this issue of buying over people into what they do not believe from the foundation of their political movement. Now, having said that, a lot of them, to themselves, they are prepared, but I am not seeing those who are thoroughly prepared for these positions they are vying for. Some of them are there to be in record that they one time contested as the president of this country, and we know those classes. They don't have anything to offer, but because they managed to pick the presidential ticket of their party, they are there. Some of them, they are not even known by the electorate. They are not known at all.
How juicy is it when you are declared the presidential candidate of your party? Does it come with some, juicy packages or something?
Let me say this. In some of those, in quote, smaller parties, there are no incentives much given to the party leadership. The party leadership sometimes make a choice, okay, this man, I think, within our party is the most competent, let him go. The only thing they do is they pay the money for the expression of interest form and so on and so forth. So when they do that, the parties in their small shed, in their small hut, begin to do things based on the capacity they have at that time. Even some of these parties don't have offices in all the states in the country. Some of these parties don't have wards across the country. So these are some of those things that made me to say that several of them are not actually prepared for this presidential election.
Mr. Badejoko, let me come back to you. How prepared would you say the presidential candidates, with what you have seen, how prepared would you say they are? Because being Nigeria president is demanding. That's the truth of the matter. How prepared with what you have seen?
Well, the first thing I observe is this. Now, the politicians generally, only few of them understand that there's a change in the process.
Is there a change
there is.
of the truth?
There's a change.
Okay, let's talk about the change you've observed.
The new electoral act, has expanded the period of campaign. You understand? That's why we now know our candidate way earlier than the usual time. If it were to be the old law, we will still be having aspirants now. We will not know the candidate until November, December. But we've known them since June. And they are not allowed to start campaigning until last week. Do you understand what I'm saying here? And that's why some people among them do not know what they are supposed to be doing per term according to the INEC timetable.
But INEC has a timetable. Shouldn't political parties, serious ones
No,
at that?
we're talking about consciousness here and psyche. What they have in their consciousness, most of them, is that once you emerge as candidate, campaign begins. And therefore, some of them have lost control over their followers. They are not even addressing their excesses. And that is laying foundation to a very terrible situation if it is not coped now.
Which is?
Violence, post-election violence. Because I see some candidates that are being overrated as we speak. And of course you will know what you are, or your own political stance, your own political weight within the polity, except you want to be deceiving yourself. You understand what I'm saying? But when you look at the whole thing, you will find out that they know, but they deceive people. And in the end, those that have been deceived would see the outcome of the election as being false, and they begin to protest.
Okay, these ones that you feel are overrating themselves, couldn't it be that perhaps they've seen the changes in the electoral process, just as you have observed, and that is making them to say, okay, in the past perhaps if I do this, I will be seen as pushing my luck beyond the extreme, but this time around, no, it's actually my time. So the issue of certain candidates, presidential candidates, overrating themselves, don't you think it is the time that has called for that?
Relatively it is, but there are still ways to go about things. You don't skip stages in your doing things.
You see some presidential candidates doing that.
Yes, like one is doing brilliantly well. He's not making much noise, but he's doing what is required right now. That is Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso.
He's doing what he ought to do.
I've been observing the way he's going about his what is it called, ambition. Right now, he knew he's coming under the platform of a party that do not have a structure that has the required geographical spread to guarantee his emergence as the president of this nation. And right now he's busy state by state creating cells within the state, building structure without making noise. No rallies, no unnecessary consultation, no visiting of any one old politician or going to religious houses. He's just going about building campaign offices, reaching out to people in the grassroots, selling his ideology, which is the right thing for him to. He started that like 3 months ago, and strategically is beginning to penetrate.
So
and he's not making noise about it.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's why, because he's not making noise, people, including the press, are not concerned, looking at his own direction. They are not observing the way he's going about his campaign. And whether we believe it or not, he's a major contender in the election. And he understands the game. He understands the dynamics of now. And that is why he's acting in line with those dynamics.
Okay, so one person that is not impressing you.
Peter Obi is not impressing me.
Why?
I am not ashamed to say that.
Why now?
Let me shock you. You know, yesterday, I've been wanting to do it, but I just decided, okay, let me just look at these candidates. Let me see what they are doing. I decided to x-ray them. That was what led to the discovery with Kwankwaso. Now, flip over to Peter Obi. The noise about his name is loudest out there.
Isn't that what is needed? We're talking of a presidential race. That's an election.
I told you, you can't be a Nigerian president without a structure. When we say structure, it's not about having followers holding rallies. How many of those followers have PVC?
What if the people chooses to be the structure we're talking about?
When we say people, we are talking about those who are willing and ready to vote in the election, who will go all the way to observe the
So
process.
you see those following Peter Obi as people are not ready.
Now let me shock you. The National Assembly election goes side by side the presidential election. Do you know that in Borno, Lagos, and Katsina State, Labour Party has no National Assembly candidate, not a senator, not a House of Rep, and these are high voting states.
Okay, I will come back to you, Mr. Eze Harrison. Is it possible for the people to say, okay, we want to build the structure of a political party, of a presidential candidate? Do you see the unprecedented happening in Nigeria come 2023? Now, we're talking of structure in this case.
Maybe my friend has not been a politician. When you talk about political structure, there are so many things within it, which if you have a good intention to vie for a particular position, you will not get involved into that. Now, building structure in the Nigerian sense of building political structure has to do with the high volume of money you have to create those structures.
So, in Nigerian political space, it is money that is the structure.
That is what creates those structures. It is not because there are ardent followers of that party or the candidate. It is money. Let me give you an example. I was involved, and it is not a good story to tell. There is no party in 2019 that had his hands clean in that election.
What do you mean?
Thank you. The structures they set in place are actually machineries for election malpractices. Quote me anywhere. I was involved. I was a state member, executive member of a particular political party. So, when we get to the field, that is where those structures they are talking about, saying it doesn't have structure, it doesn't have that. You will see those structures trying to lobby INEC to do those things that are not to be done during the election process.
For instance,
and one of those things is buying of ballot booklets from INEC officials, and that is done by those structures they are talking about.
There is a big one you throwing up this morning.
No, I was there. I was on ground as a party official. I was on ground, and we told them we don't have such money. Sometimes they were negotiating U40, We60, less, and all that. That is the structure majority of these so-called big names in the presidential race are talking about. That is the structure. Because I was involved in every of the polling unit across the country. They make those structures, and on the election day, you will see vehicles with large sums of money in those polling units. All right? And that is the structure they're talking about. We should go from the norms, what we have been practicing, to an open, free and fair election process. That is when we will know. That is one. And having said that, Nigerian political offices are very attractive. And that is why we have a lot of criminalities going on this time towards the election period. The offices are so attractive. The offices are so fat that many of them will go out of their way. For example, imagine candidates going as far as selling properties, going as far as using their properties to loan or borrow money from the bank because they want to contest election, because they want to spread the structure, because they want to buy over people in different communities and in different wards because of the election.
But the argument is that if you don't build this structure,
okay,
winning an election, presidential one for that matter,
let me
will
go
be very
those
difficult.
structures you are talking about, what are they to you? They are not actually party loyalists. No. They are not actually followers of the candidate.
Really?
Yes. I was involved. What they do, for instance now, they've started in my area. A candidate came and dropped 2.7 million. Yes. For what? And the people who the money got into their hand begin to buy people over and so on and so forth. And right there in my area, 5,000 was distributed to buy people to follow that particular candidate and his party. That is the structure they are talking about.
Okay.
Those things are not called for in the Nigerian political system.
Mr. Simbo,
If you want to make
did you hear that? He's giving us an example. So when we talk of structure, imagine the picture which he has painted.
Well, we need to first of all understand that there's difference between having a political party structure and vote buying. All his analysis have been centered around vote buying, electoral malpractice. That is not what we're saying here. I will go outside the shores of this country so that we'll have a better understanding of what I mean. Let's pick the United States, because that is the democracy that ours is closest to. Do you understand? Now, they have about 70-something political parties in the United States, out of which a minimum of like 20 makes it to the presidential ballot on each election year. Now, despite that number, we've never had, at least in the past 100 years, or close to 200 years of American democracy, is older than that. I'm just saying, let's limit it to that 200 years. From the time of Lincoln till date, it is either the Democrats or the Republican. Why has these other individuals not been able to emerge as the president, even though they still have provisions in their law for independent candidature, that you don't even need a platform of a political party to be the president? That's the way their law says. Here you must be a member of a party. You need a party to sponsor your candidacy before you can contest for the election. You understand what I'm saying? Now, it took Donald Trump more than 20 years to understand that he needs to. He first of all was in the Democrats. When it's called that what it stood for is not in line with the Democratic ideology, he moved to the Republican. And he contested under the platform of Republican. Obama had to join the Democrats. He has a mass movement. He was able to, emerge. And when he put the array of followers into the Democratic structure, even Hillary Clinton, as influential as she was, had to bow. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, these are what we are saying. I just said something. Maybe Mr. Eze missed that point. How would a party not have a National Assembly candidate in a state like Lagos? It's an embarrassment, considering the number of crowd that were Lagos residents that campaign for. That means they are not interested in this other arm of government. And democracy is not about the presidential or the president alone. The National Assembly leadership is also important, because the National Assembly, going about what happened even within the same party 2015 to 2019, if you are not on the same page, we see it severally in the US, where the presidents will want to enact a policy and the Congress will say no, you can't go that way, and that is the end of the policy, no matter how beautiful or how pro people that policy could be. You understand what I'm saying? So you need the National Assembly. That's something structures here. We are talking about 8,080 wards. Do the Labour Party has party ESCOs in all of those places? Do you know what I'm saying here? There are so many.
And you think it can?
Because it will put too much pressure on the presidential candidates. You can imagine if those National Assembly candidates are also in the election, they would also want to protect their interests. Aligning that with the interests of their presidential candidates is going to make the thing to be easy for the presidential candidate to emerge.
Okay, the people are trying to call in. I will be opening the phone lines in a jiffy. But of course, in the meantime, don't forget you can drop your message on Facebook, IBR925 FM Ibadan. You can send a text message to 0905 221 3356. 0905 221 3356. That number is strictly for text messages. If you call, I won't pick. 0905 221 3356 is for text messages. Mr. Eze, for a presidential candidate like Peter Obi, going about, I'm sure he must have a mind, or he must have sat down, or a strategist must have sat him down to call his attention to all of these. But you look at a man who seems not to be too worried, even when all these realities are staring at him in the face. Again, I ask, Do you see something unprecedented happening in 2023?
This is an election of awakening.
What have you seen?
Yes, I'm coming. This is an election of awakening. Across the country today, there is an understanding by a lot of Nigerian masses that they have all over the time been selling their destiny for a piece of muscle.
You think Nigerians have realized that?
Majority of them right now. The only people who are not reasoning along that line are the old political wars. They are the only people in Nigeria today. Now, I was asking a question. I said, why must it remain in the corridors of the same people that have ruled this nation for long? Presently, as it stands, I have totally severed myself from any political party for personal reasons. But the question is this. The time has come when it is not going to be party again. Let's look at the precedents. Let's look at the records. Let's check some of these things before we cast our votes. These same people that are coming were contributors to the immense severe hardship we are going through today. It had never happened in the history of this nation. So, from my perspective, like I told one of the honorables that called my attention, I said, boy, I am not interested in any political party. I want to go cast my vote on that day of election and return home. That is what I want to do. I'm not interested. Because over the years, the music you play to the hearing of the people is not what you dance when you get to that position. And that has been the undoing of the political system of this nation. Let me give you an example. My friend said, how can a political party win an election in a country like this when they are not having candidates in the major electioneering states? All right, that is Lagos, Kano, and which other state? Katsina, and all that. That they don't have honorable
National Assembly candidates.
So, now, excuse me, sir. This time I am foreseeing a game that will change the entire political system.
That's what you see.
Yeah.
I'm coming back to you, Mr. Abadijoko. Let me come back to you. How come? I have names here. I started by reading out, these names. There are many of them. How come we still get to hear of Bola Tinubu of the APC, Peter Obi of the Labour Party? You talk of Rabi Musa Kokwanso of NNPP. You also talk of Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party. You don't get to hear of many of these other names. Why do we have these dominant names?
That is the way it usually is.
Yeah.
You understand? All over the world. As we speak, they are rounding up a rerun election in Brazil.
Yeah.
And who is likely to win? A former president that has served and is popular among the people, about to defeat the incumbent. Why are there no other people coming up? Look, it's about your impact in the society.
So you must have been a governor.
Your name, not like that.
Okay, you must have been in the political space.
Exactly, and you must have, your name must have been an household name.
Yeah.
Nigeria is a very big country. We're talking about over 200 million population, 36 states plus Abuja. You understand? 6 geopolitical zones. This is a very big country. You understand? And whoever will be the president must be an household name. Yeah. When there's campaign, as funny as it will sound, do you know it is the elite that listen to campaign? It is the name that those in the villages are familiar with that they will go for. That is where structure matters. Going back to that argument, you understand what I'm saying? How many people know these people in Kaola Namunda, in Bama, you understand, in the villages in Ebonyi, or even in Okeogo here, where television network do not have enough penetration, where you have the TV, people don't have the time to listen to it, and where they have the time, there is no power, constant power to even power the television set. And going about the economic hardship, an average Nigerian is too busy. Anything that you cannot read on smartphone now is no news. Now, with our 200 million population, do you know that at least half of our population do not have a smartphone? And a good number of them are eligible electorates with PVC. So these are things that matters. These are what I am saying, that look, parties like Labour Party should be realistic. They shouldn't just de-emphasize the reality and do the right thing. They see enough time to really build this thing, to start taking those things seriously, but not when you just follow the illusion that is out there and you begin, that is going to manifest into reality. It's going to lead to a shock.
Okay,
that's why I said I see post-election violence.
Let's do this analysis. According to Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, voter turnout across the country on election day hovers around 30 to 35% of registered voters. We are yet to even do 50% of those who register to vote. We've been doing 30, 35. Okay, I'm trying to see where Mr. Harrison is getting his strength from, that something will happen and all that. If you look at the political participation via technology on the social media, Mr. Sumba, before I go to Mr. Eze, do you think it has increased or not? In the past, it's been a case of the elites not participating enough. That has been, okay, the impression. Do you see the elites waking up? Students don't participate in election. In the past, especially presidential election, do you see them showing more interest? But when you look at what INEC is saying in your states, you begin to wonder, okay, these ones that are registering newly, where are they from? Since the number of uncollected permanent voter cards hovers around over 700,000. So quickly,
over 20 million.
What the social media has been able to do is to improve the level of awareness.
Okay.
Political awareness.
Okay.
That
has happened.
That has not translated into participation in the significant way that would affect that significant change in the election. You understand? What would do that work? What would complement that effort is the people on ground. They are the ones that these are something that cannot be automated.
But the impression has been that these ones that you think the dominant political parties can hold on to, okay, the unlettered, as it were.
Let me come to this studio. We are elites. We are informed. We are aware. But we may not vote on the election day. Why?
Don't you think that will change in 2023?
It's not going to change. Will you leave the studio to go and cast vote? Bottom line will be on while the elections are going on. And you'll be here. So you are out. I may be forced to be with you. You understand what I'm saying? He may be invited to come and do to work with one NGO for election monitoring process, holding on to his experience. You understand? DJ Scotty is not going to be there. He will be busy on duty. There are so many emergency people too. That's why the elites they don't turn out at election day. You understand? And that's why the people in the villages usually the ones determining the outcome of the election.
Okay, because the elites are informed, and do they give direction? And usually busy. Do they give direction?
Now, that is why I'm saying that what the social media has been able to do is to increase the level of awareness.
Okay, Mr. Eze, I come to you. Do you agree or you disagree with him?
I'm looking at the whole issue from a different perspective. My friend had actually given a very sound and intelligent analysis. There are so many things that are going on now, which we have to look into. Now, those communities, remote communities, where they get some of these bulk votes from, it has been in that way for some time now, but of what benefit has it been to those areas? Of what benefit has it been? So I actually looked into his analysis. They're actually very intelligent analysis, but I don't see that playing out much this time, because there are some foot soldiers who are going into those communities now unannounced, giving them awareness of what has been on and that is going on in the country today. I'm involved somehow, going to those communities, not campaigning for any particular political party or candidate, but the things they need to know as people who will go out to vote on that day, we are teaching them. We are teaching them, because the norm has been that most of these candidates who have lost sums of money mobilize people to those communities, and you will see their agents in the night going to envelope 1,000, and that is what we want to take out of the mind of the people. That those 1,000, 2,000 you collected the previous time that made you to cast your vote in a wrong place or in a party that is keeping us hostage in the country today, let it not happen again. What you do this time, don't vote because you want to get money from the people.
All right, let me open the phone lines so that the people can be part of the program. 0916-1047-698, 0811-0526-487, 0902-2809-257. These are the numbers. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, my name is Dr. Joseph.
Oh, sorry. Can you change your location? Your name is Dr. Who?
Toyosi Samuel.
Okay, Dr. Toyosi Samuel, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much. I don't want to make a contribution to the conversation going on. Yeah, hello?
Please go ahead.
All right, yeah, so this is my thing. The obedient movement has, in no doubt, to a large extent, being able to sort of create some form of awareness and mobilize, especially youth. But the obedience also needs to understand something here. You don't bully people to win an election. There are different dimensions. You go on Twitter or on any social media platform, the moment people raise some criticism against the presidential candidate, the next thing you say is all manner of cyberbullying going on, all manner of attacks. To a large extent, for me, that's going to affect the performance of the candidate in the election. That is one side to it. One of your guests there, I think if I'm correct, said the food soldiers are going about mobilizing people and telling people, sensitizing people. For crying out loud, there are conflicting data revelations even from the candidate. And many people have asked the candidate to condemn the activities of IPOP. That is one of them. Another one is this again. Peter Obi himself should come out and tell Nigerians what will his stand be as regards the removal of fuel subsidy, because the Labour Congress is saying no to removal of fuel subsidy, and he seems to be in line with that.
All right.
Things that even the candidate needs to address, or else it is very glaring that a house that cannot put itself in order will definitely be divided against itself.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Toyosi Samuel, for your time on the program this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning. I know how it's work.
All thanks to God. Your name and where you are calling from.
I have to sanction you to court because you don't want to pick my call in the morning and this time around. Well, my name is
Why would I not want to pick your call? Tell me your name first.
My name is Joshua Mopaliva.
Okay, you're welcome. It's not true. I pick calls once it is within my convenience.
Because of the work. Okay, I want to disagree with your other partner, the other man. He said that Peter Obi don't have structure. I want him to know that in the beginning, did PDP have structure in Nigeria before they come on board? You see, at times when we talk, please, when you want to talk in national to people, please let people know your ideology and your manifesto. Let me use that word. because the PDP started from nowhere and they become somebody. So Peter Obi, I'm not saying that Peter Obi is the best. I'm not saying PDP is the best. No, this is my personal opinion. But Peter Obi must start from lower level and become somebody. Take it or you leave it.
All right.
So what we are encountering now in Nigeria, we are not happy. We need change to change the change and to change the change.
All right.
Whether we like it or not.
Thank you so much for your time. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you.
Anthony is my name.
You're welcome.
And Labour Party is going to shock many people, especially these two parties that are ruling this country, PDP and APC. Before 2014, before the APC is known, did they have structure? They never had any structure as APC is concerned. But I, as a person, Buhari, as a person, as a candidate, we spread it on the same social media, and it did catch like a fire. And because PDP has messed up, so nobody don't want to hear about PDP. We were disappointed by PDP then. So we projected that man called Buhari as individual, and it goes like a fire. Now, when it happens to now, because of him, they got the presidency. Then many of them start moving from PDP to APC. Let me tell you, by the grace of God, when Labour Party takes up the government, all those House of Representatives or whatever, they will be, you know them, they will be moving from that their party to Labour Party.
All right.
The same structure you are talking about is human being. And it is the social media that the APC use to have the government of this day.
Okay, Mr. Anthony.
The social media we are going to use to project Labour Party, by the grace of God, they will shock the rest.
All right, let's leave it there. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Anu.
Thank you.
Adeshuri from UI.
You're welcome.
Anu, to be sincere, I'm not saying any one of the three really the contenders. I'm not saying any one of them is the best.
There are many of them. There are not three.
And the top three for now. Where I'm going now is that Anu, but Anu when US was challenged in terms of war, they brought George Bush. When normalcy returned, they brought Obama. So the situation at any point in time determines the kind of leader we want. In 2015, we don't know what we were doing. We said Buhari is the solution. That a NEPA bill is okay to rule. I don't know what comes to our senses. Now we said Tinubu or Atiku. My brother, what do we get from these two leaders? But if this issue of structure is my fear, if this Peter Obi now fail to get to that presidency next year, if it's between Atiku and Tinubu, my brother, Nigeria is consumed forever.
All right. Thank you so much for your time on the program this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you.
My name is Yusuf Ahmed.
Yusuf Ahmed from where?
From Alado the Monitor.
All right, Yusuf, welcome.
Thank you very much. I see basically the argument this morning is based on structure. First, I'd like to buttress the other man's point. He said something about Labour Party not having a structure. Yes, I agree with you.
Yusuf, can you please turn down the volume of your radio set?
Okay. Thank you.
Go ahead. Oh, Yusuf, I didn't ask you to cut off the call. I only asked you to thin down the volume of your radio set. And of course, you should know that when you call in on the radio, you should do that. Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Thank you.
It's Timothy Nakobo.
Timothy, welcome.
Well, the two of them are talking well, but that mother said that Labour Party down structure. Because it's totally wrong, please. I use the word please because the way I used to talk sometimes is not good. So it's totally wrong for you saying that Labour Party down structure. Why APC down structure before now? It's only PDP that I know they stand very well in 99. to the way you say Labour Party, we are not talking of party this time around. It's credibility. Who will add value? Who will change people's lives? The country is totally messed up now. No sector of the economy is working well. This addiction or whatever that so we say if those two people that we're putting maybe Nigeria voted for one of those two parties. Let me not mention names. People know what I'm talking about. In short, Nigeria will sing totally consumed. That's not lie.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Timothy from Akobo, for your time on the program this morning. Okay, let me pick more calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Gideon from Good morning.
Okay, Mr. Gideon, you're welcome.
Now, someone talked about whether Mr. Peter will remove his fuel subsidy and compensation. This is an open secret. Nobody that is coming that will not remove it. Every one of them will remove the fuel subsidy. If they are going to remove it, and they are going to borrow. So we should all know that. So thank you.
All right, Mr. Gideon, thank you so much for your time on the program. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Oh, okay, I've actually picked your call. Taiwo Oluwadari on Facebook says, I disagree with Mr. Sumbo saying if the party doesn't have National Assembly candidates, its presidential candidate may lose his vote in a polling unit. As far as I'm concerned, I'm not voting for party. I am voting for individuals, which means I will vote for a different party for president and different party for others depending on my choice. He is mixing politics with governance. After election, governance between the president and National Assembly will sort out itself. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Tijani Razak says, I'm just laughing when I listen to what Mr. Eze, which time are you talking about? Is Obi new in politics of this country? It will be unfair, Mr. Anu, if you don't ask that man if Obi is a saint if Obi is a saint or not. Okay, Abiola Omoto Shwadeleke says, let's all agree that PDP did nothing before APC came to power in 2015, but Nigerians voted for the APC to come and correct the wrongs of the PDP. Then with so many promises made to Nigerians, unfortunately they couldn't fix the wrongs by worsening the situation. Hot sector in Nigeria has sunk the ditch without having a substantial blueprint to review it, but they keep borrowing to service debt. Okay, thank you so much. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you so much, sir.
Kudos to you're doing over there.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. It's me, Afalabi from Monoton.
Okay, Mr. Falabi from Monoton, welcome, sir.
Yeah. You see, either PDP or APC or Labour Party or any other party that will represent Nigeria in the coming election. My submission is that we don't want any government or any party will be complaining all the time that for 16 years or for 20 years they are country without doing anything on the spoiling. Number two is that we don't want any government that will be lying to us. Now, they'll be full of lies. Even when Obasanjo comes to government in Nigeria, he takes power from Obacha. There was a problem of petroleum then. But Obasanjo did not even say Obacha has spoiled it or he has done this.
Hello, Mr. Falabi. Oh, kindly call back, Mr. Falabi, please. Kindly call back. The line dropped from your hand. Let's make another call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Hello, morning.
Thank you so much, sir.
I am Primate Shola Shitu from Ijebu Ibo in Ogun State.
You're welcome, sir.
Let me appreciate you the more for your fantastic job this morning. You did very well. Now, I want to appreciate our guests because I found out that they have the solutions to Nigerian problems at their fingertips. And when you study their release, it means they really understand what exactly is the problem. Now, I want them as a guest and as a resource personnel this morning to drop the blame game. Let us go away from the blame game. Now, finally, IBR will be noted as the radio station who great and gave us the solution, the antidote to us getting a Nigeria that is finally working back politically. Now they should suggest to us, what is the way forward? Do we continue by going into the incoming election with all this analysis they have created, or we abandon the election and sit down to talk again, or do we avoid or push away the presidential system, maybe that is what is affecting us, and go into another system, which they will suggest this morning? For crying out loud, what is the way forward to make Nigeria working again politically? Good morning.
Thank you so much for your time on the program this morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. You're welcome.
I think the way forward is for us to the system we adopt in Nigeria is affecting us too much. Why is it that we don't adopt it fully as we are adopted it in US, where each state controls its resources and gives its particular percentage to the center? US is moving forward. We are moving backward on daily basis, on monthly basis. No presidential candidate will come to Nigeria with this type of presidential system that is too costly and have any meaning to, except and unless he or she has money of his own that we will spend for Nigeria.
Okay.
Except, let's call our people together and if we can't have the presidential system as it's been done in the developed world of the country, let's go back to our regional government.
All right.
Southwest was moving forward.
All right. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Just to follow my father, Prime Minister Shitu, I want to send my own message to you, but this morning to be personal. How is David Anoluapo Moride?
Oh, thanks to God.
Mr. Moride, I appreciated the guest with you. The only aspect they have missed is that they have not brought back the historical political development in Nigeria. I have been following political development in Nigeria since 1979. And as I'm speaking to you now, I've zeroed in on two parties that will ultimately be the people's choice. The remaining 16, they are non-starters. I don't even call them starters, they are non-starters. Forget about Obi when we are talking about Nigerian politics. By December now, all of them will run out of steam. You will see what politics is when they start the campaign on Monday. They will run out of steam. So by January to February election, we will only have two candidates to choose between the Death and the Blue Sea. Structures is very important, as one of your guests has mentioned. Once you don't have structures in all the 8,809 wards, 774 local government, 33 states, and the federal and FCT, forget it. You can't make, because all what we are discussing is because we are in Southwest. The people of the North, they are thinking about this election as well. We don't factor the North. Good morning.
Thank you so much for your time on the program this morning. Hello, good morning. Oh, okay. Let's check who is here. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, please, you caught me.
Hello, good morning. Okay, I think mistakenly I picked two calls, but unfortunately, okay, Mr. John Olariwaju, you're welcome.
All right, thank you, sir. The issue of this boy here and the TV and the rest, well, as for me, actually, I believe in the new system, but better than what that you're practicing now. But here, as much as you are there, you have the new system, which I'm aspiring for. I think we need to go for more better of the candidate that we have on ground now. But if I need to that are confined, you know, they might say somebody has no structure, but like one collateral in 2014, it was really the Nigerians that even gave the structure for the KDC in 2014 for the.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. John Olariwaju. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello, good morning. on. Hello, good morning, sir.
Hello?
You are on. Go ahead, sir. Hello, good morning. Oh, apologies. Okay, we'll pick another call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I know you called me very short.
No, I didn't.
I want to ask my coordinator there. Is this, when are we going to get it right in Nigeria? Who did this to us in Nigeria? You see, when we talk about Nigeria issue, we are talking about what will favor us in future and our grandchildren. Please, when we want to learn, let us learn before you cut us off. Please, I know you are doing a great job. God will bless you and your family.
Amen. But sincerely speaking, I don't cut calls off. I don't. Alright? Are you there? Okay. Now, I hope you drop the call. I have no reason to cut anyone off. No, I wouldn't do that. Okay, I pick more calls. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Okay, Mr. Falabi.
It's Afolabi back here.
Okay, you're welcome, sir. Quickly, sir.
You see, to my submission, we don't want the party that will be lying to the public. We want a credible candidate that will submit to the needs. Hello?
Go ahead, Mr. Falabi, sir.
Hello?
Mr. Falabi, you are home. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. We want party that will be submitted to the needs and hearing and listening to the people of the country. So, therefore, what people, any party may be saying, we want a political representative that will be doing what is right, but not listening to the people of the country. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Falabi from Monoton. Abiola Motosho says Nigeria needs a leader with good capability to manage the affairs of this country called Nigeria. Things have gone wrong in Nigeria. Despite that, we voted for change in 2015, not knowing it will be a total downfall. We need someone who can correct the wrongs of APC, insecurity, revive our economy, education sector, power sector, because all sectors in Nigeria is faulty. Nigerians must be ready to embrace change in 2023 and vote wisely, not to make mistakes of 2015. Olga Joseph says the party that have no governor in one state in the country, and you're telling us that they have structure. Presidential election is not one state affair. I don't believe that Labour has structure. Thanks, Joseph from Yobe State. Okay, Joseph, all the way from Yobe State. Thank you so much for your time on the program. Good morning. PMB's government has clearly sold this contraption called Nigeria away with the way his cabinet crew show cluelessness in education, economy, infrastructure and security, which have failed. Unfortunately, TSC doesn't work. If it works, how could the former accountant general of the federation steal that among us amount of money? Prince Wale Giwa sent that message. Forget the social media hula baloo. Obi will come distant third. When the jungle is mature, small animals will leave the forest. I am Ibrahim Oluomo from Ashi in Bodija. Good morning, IBR. My name is Olaniwaju Adisa. I attended Enugu State University of Science and Technology between 2009 to 2014. Obi was impeached more than one time because of different allegations. Okay, very poor in managing crews, which makes the university and the doctors to go on strike for 13 months. Obi is a boy. Mr. Anu, the participation in social media cut across the three major parties and not limited to one movement. We should not be blindfolded with this propaganda. Let Labour Party first establish itself in its geopolitical zones. Owolabi from Makbete. Please ask Mr. Badejoko if in Nigeria we have any family that is a bit close to Nehru family in India, what they have performed politically. Remember, you either weak calico or go naked, which was the beginning of you either wear calico or go naked, which was the beginning of India technology. Ogunbi Itola from Monoton sent that message. Mr. Anthony is too passionate about issues and needs to be taking things easy. When Obi finally loses the poll, I hope he will learn to be okay, a karma. Babatunde send that message. Tijani Razak is a laughing boy. The present government is the worst of all, yet Tijani is laughing. I pity the laughing stock. May God heal our land. Isaac, from Olodo, Taiwo Isaac from Olodo. Ahmed from Alabebe says, good morning all. There are wrong notions I would like you to correct from most callers today. APC art structure before 2015 election. It was formed from the coalition of ACN, CPC, ANPP and Breakaway ABGA. A good number of aspirants from other offices were produced. Let some always emotional man don't come here and be raining and be ranting just like he does every day. Okay, thank you so much. Now, we don't need to be abusive. I want to appeal to you. People don't have to see things from your own way. Just drop yours, and of course, let's go. Gentlemen, let's look at development in Oyo State during the course of the week. Of course, what we are experiencing at the national level perhaps is not different from what we are getting to hear at the state level. I start with you, Mr. Badi Joko. What's happening in Oyo State? Again, you talk of intolerance.
Whatever is happening now is not new. Oyo has this old, how would I call it, accolade of the wide west. It was the regional capital. Ibadan was the regional capital, still the capital of Oyo State now. And so many dramas, political dramas are taking place in Ibadan. Whatever we are seeing now, I just what's it called now? Flashback or history repeating itself. History repeating itself. But the core thing is this. Give it to the Ajimobi administration. He understood that this is a dent on the state, and he tried all he could to put an end.
What's a dent?
Political brigandage. It's one thing that is becoming peculiar with Oyo State politics, which ought not to be.
You mean presently?
Over the years, apart from that period. You understand?
So you think it has retained?
It has. Let's not just hide behind one finger here. It has. You understand what I'm saying here? When you... And politicians are the ones that will harm these miscreants to work for them at election. You understand? And because they have been involved in the emergence of that particular governor, in a way, they go about with this sense of ownership, or let me say, yes, that's the right word, ownership. That's our lawambe. Whatever we do, nobody will ask us. That is the mindset that generated all what we are currently witnessing. And of course, the governor too should also know that he's the chief security officer of the state.
Some will say that's on paper.
That is not only on paper. He gets security votes. What does he do with it? If he is not the chief security officer of the state, he will not be getting security votes. And the truth of you and I have both said it in this studio, even on TV, that governors fund the state this police more than even the federal government. So what are we now talking about? How would they be giving excuses when it comes to security? Because they actually fund the security outfit more than the federal government. So which means they have a measure of control. He who pays the piper dictates the tune. If you are buying equipment for them, you can as well give them advice, if you will not instruct them on how to use the equipment, or even monitor their usage, quote and unquote, of the equipment. Do you understand what I'm saying now? So these are things that the government needs to, because it appears as if a particular band of I
know you're talking of the PMS boys, but this is it. You talk of, these ones having this sense of ownership and all that. The governor has not even rolled out drums. He is yet to start his campaign.
These are things that have been developments even before we get to this period. Remember Iworu, that young man that was slain. Yeah.
The doctor, the medical student.
Now, justice has not been served. The people that were arrested have been released, and the sentence day. But it's still in the heart of the relative of the victims and his friends. So many others. That's just one case. There have been several other cases that had happened. You understand what I'm saying here? All these things, they are bad precedents, and they would become fully mature at election, because it's against that background that the opposition is also arming itself in preparation, in readiness for the whatever they want to bring.
Mr.
And that is dangerous for the state.
Mr. Eze.
On your state, Ibadan, their political system is different from every other state in the country. The way they go about it. Having said that, the only thing I have to say this morning is that all candidates should have God in their mind. That's the only thing I want to say, because the issue of your politics, they think they drink a lot of blood during election, and it's not ought to be. So that is why I'm telling those candidates, those contestants, that they should have God in their mind. If you're arming people with weapons and or what have you, with money, presently there is a particular candidate that brought a building and camped his stocks there. As I'm talking to you this morning, I'll be policeman with a worker. Now, what is that for? There is another training camp, I won't mention the local government, for another candidate from another party. In the morning when you pass around that area, you will see them at the front of that place where they are come, smoking in their hand, training and practicing how they will deal with whosoever that crosses the way of their candidate. Now these are the problems we're having here. I think if the police is going to work as they should, is to start their screening and investigation of the activities going on around these candidates and see how they could be caught. But having said that, the Nigerian police force of today, especially the state commands, don't have that capacity. Because, one, they are ill-equipped. The things that should be in their hand is what has been acquired and given to some of these miscreants, which they are going to use during the election. So I am only appealing to the candidates. Have God in your mind. When lives are wasted, when people are destroyed because you want to become governor, because you want to become senator, because you want to become a member of the House of Assembly, national rep, of what gain is it? Who are you going to govern? Who are you going to lead when all these things happen? So we want to talk to those concerned. Have God in your mind, from the local government to the State House of Assembly to the federal reps and senators, then to the governor. Let them have God in their mind. Politics is not a thing of do or die. No, it should not be. And what has caused all these things is because Nigerian politics is very attractive, very robust, very fat. That is what is calling for all these things. How can you imagine a politician sells his properties? I know one that sold about 3 buildings in 2015 because he wanted to contest the election. At the end of the day, he lost the election. He left the country to go and make more money. He is back now to do the same thing again. So we don't need all those people. If we will get solution to the present plague that is fermenting or tearing the Nigerian political system aside, 2 things. 1, demonetize the Nigerian political system. Demonetizing it in the sense that this huge sum of money that they cut away with every month should not be. It should not be. The excesses of spending in administration, different administrations, should be cut off. For example, if the governor's salary is equivalent to that of a director in the federal ministry, he will not have reason to sell his property because he wants to contest election. If that of the members of the House of Senate is at the same level with that of assistant director at the federal ministry, he will not have reason to sell his buildings, close down his business because he wants to contest election. The second thing is this: the way we partition the presidency is not fair. It's not fair. Thank you. In the partitioning is north and south. In the south, there is the big strength in the northern politics. So all the norths, all the people that fall to that region will never have the opportunity of getting to that seat because there is the big weight states, there is the big weight families in the north who it will always come from them to become the president of the country when it is the time of the North. So what I am suggesting is this. We have 6 geopolitical zones. Let it be on the basis of geopolitical rotation, not North and South. For example, it has been North and South, sir. It has been the Southwest and South-South. The other geopolitical zones are there. North, it has been Northwest, North Central. What of the other areas? So these are some of the things that we should look into, restructure it, let it go round. If it is going round, one, it will eliminate this issue of thuggery at the presidential seat campaign or vying for that position. It will reduce it. It will bring it to a barest minimum that we can say, okay, this thing is getting fairer. But when we don't do that, when it is a booty thing, then we will continue to have it wrong.
Okay.
So let's restructure the presidential system.
Okay, Mr. Sumba Badejoko, we're still sticking to, APNIs in Oyo State. During the course of the week, there was a rally and there was an attack.
Yeah.
All right, allegedly, there was an attack. Now, public affairs analysts and even the APC called for thorough investigation. The police released its report saying, say for armed robbery case, okay, an incident that was reported, no attack took place. The APC is insisting, no, we have evidence. This took place. The police should be neutral. We don't want partiality and all that. And some persons are saying, oh, we're talking of an election that is still months away. It is too early for all of these. A Sunday that will be good. You get to know of it right from the Saturday, right? That's what that popular adage says. What are we dealing with?
We said this already. Now, for the incidents of this week, 2 things are there. One thing that the people should know is this. I'm not a police officer, but I'm sure Mr. Eze would confirm
a retired police officer.
Yeah.
He is.
The police will not make public statements about a matter that has not been formally reported to them. There was an incident. One was reported, the other was not. Or there were 2 incidents rather. One was reported, the other was not. But people now assume that the police should do what? Make public statements on a matter that as at that time that the statement was made.
This is for education, let's get it right. Even if someone is murdered, if you don't report to the police,
yes,
the police won't look into it.
If they do not have formal report about it, they will not. They may not look into it, except they are witness to that incident. The witness, who is an officer, will be the one to do the report because it's in line of his duty. But if it's an isolated that happened away from, and they too are getting to read it on the pages of newspaper on social media, do you understand? As at the time the news broke, if they do not have formal report of the incident, they are not going to make a public statement on it. They will only
even when it's happened.
Even when it happens, because they cannot be too hasty to make public statements. It will count against them. Do you understand? Now, that's one thing people need to get clear, including the politician, who will assume, yes, maybe there are police officers. Why did the party ESCOs not go to the police headquarters to say, this happened when we were having this event, and these are the people we suspect have carried it out? It will be documented. Now, the police will make use of their own reports to issue a public statement on that. I believe, Mr. Isi. So these are things that those are what people should know. You understand? One thing I have observed about Nigerians, even we said it before we came on live. Series of information will be out there. People will choose only the ones that interest them, and they will only comment on the ones that interest them. That is one side to it. Now, often we get blindfolded from reality through our emotions, and it's not going to change that reality. No matter how emotional you are about an issue, it will not change the reality. You understand? Because the reality is the fact on ground, and that is, if it becomes a legal matter, that's what the law will act upon. So these are things that people should know. If you see something, go a step further by making formal reports.
Okay, let me submit or say this. Mr. Ezeazi is a retired police officer, because a lot of people will misconstrue you when you said, okay, I be police, we see a lot and all that. Now, in days ahead, how do we forestall a repeat of all of this?
That is going to be a very huge project. Number one, considering the present state of the Nigerian police force, considering their present state, it is going to be a very huge project, which is going to be something that the present police need to be empowered and equipped to see how we'll be able to put a stop to some of these things that will be happening within this political season. How do I mean? Presently, all the state commands are crippled for lack of equipment and facilities to carry out some of these things that we are expecting.
Even when state governments are trying to empower them?
Excuse me, selected empowerment for their own interest and gain.
What do you mean?
Thank you. Do you notice those white vehicles? I don't want to call the name of the vehicle, that you see RSR on their body. Those vehicles are mounted on the road, and is a combined team of different military units that are there. Do you remember Operation Burst? They are still there. But the fact is that how many of those Operation Burst vehicles are still outside today? Even this present one, how many of these their vehicles are still functioning today?
The government procured some weeks back.
Let's see how it is going to be used. If it will be handed over to be judiciously and, used normally the way it should be, good. But if it is provided for it to be used for his own interest, that is not good and not for the society. So I want to say, number one, the major problem has not been that the police is not effective. They don't have the ability to perform those magics that we expect from them. For example, when you get to some of these police, let me use the word, divisional headquarters, you will discover that in Oyo State, they are not up to 20% that has operational vehicles with them.
Okay, so that we don't divert.
All right.
Now we're talking of campaign and how to secure the people.
Yes, that is what I'm looking at. That is exactly what I'm looking at. For example, now maybe there's going to be a rally at Adamasingba. Now, when officers leave their stations, when they leave their divisional headquarters and go there, majority of those divisions becomes empty. It becomes a ghost land. You get into a station, you meet maybe 3-4 people. The station guard, the CRO, all right, and some other few people there. Now, all of them are there. So what I'm talking about now, it might be very late, but it could still be done. The Nigerian police force is weak numerically, is weak by things they need to carry out these operations. So there is no how, excuse me, they'll be able to do the things we are expecting from them to forestall peace during this election or even during this campaign period.
Does it mean the people are helpless?
The people are helpless from what they are expecting from the police force and from the government. But to themselves, they should not be helpless.
Okay, Mr. Badijoku, let's talk of a peace accord. Have you witnessed any in Oyo State? Is it necessary?
Well, it's too early to be signing peace accord, because peace accord is usually targeted at post-election violence. That's okay, whatever is the outcome of this election, you all will stand by it and you call your followers to orders. It has never really been targeted towards campaign, because even if they sign it, most of these politicians, as we have established earlier, do not have control over their followers. Why? Even if they speak to them, they are like zombies under the influence of substances, alcohol, Indian hemp, and what have you. So, when they are under the influence of these substances, they are no longer human beings. They're like robots programmed for that particular incident. And that's where the mission, that's the only thing that goes on in the brain. So if you're saying come back, he's not listening to you. You understand? He may even attack you in the process, just like a rabid dog that goes out of control. So these are things. The solution is not now. It's to take gradual awareness in the area of de-emphasizing brigandage in politics, separating it completely. And what would lead to that? Quality education, good infrastructure that will create good jobs for them to be meaningfully engaged. You know, these are idle hands that are not really engaged in any much productive activity. That's why they serve all this purpose at the election. And if, before I forget, I wanted to really talk on the solution that Mr. Eze suggested earlier on the issue of salaries and money of the politician. Look, it has its roots in the law. The new Electoral Act increased the benchmark of spending for presidential election from 5 billion to 15 billion. And that of governor
1 to 5 billion.
No, 1 for governor to 5 billion. For the president, 5 to 15. Now, let's now come to the governor. You expect somebody that spent 5 billion to come into office to now rely on salaries. Even the salary, on a more serious note, are not as much as we think. Where they get the money from is the inflated budgetary allocations on projects. Yeah. That's where they get the money from. And they will continue to do that until we begin to have legislation in place that would, for instance, at the governorship level, just remove their immunity. Simple. That will put them naturally into check.
Okay, let's pay some bills. We'll be back.
Don't walk, you don't try. You're supposed to.
Looking for a home away from home accommodation? Martin Hotel and Suites is the place to be. We guarantee you a top experience in our rooms that come in different categories like standard deluxe, super executive, deluxe executive, and diplomatic suites. Relax in our open bar as you enjoy exquisite dishes including barbecue and shawarma. Our facilities include an open bar, a swimming pool, a VIP bar, 1,500 capacity event hall, a gym, a medium hall, standby generator, 24 hours kitchen and laundry services, as well as 100% security. We also have well-equipped driver's lodge for your drivers. All these and more are available at affordable prices at Martin Hotel and Suites, located along Akobo Olorunda Road, Lagelu Local Government, Ibadan. For further inquiries and bookings, call 0802-279-6797 or 0813-812-1083. Martin Hotel and Suites, giving you the delightful experience.
Everything you put your hand go walk. Your name go open doors.
Maya Angelou once said, you may not control all the events that happen to you, but you can decide not to be reduced by them. That is why the Impact Entrepreneur and Vocational Clinic IEVC is back, bigger and better, with lots of empowerment opportunities.
I took part in the vocational skills. The one I did was catering skills, and I can say today, because I have started a business with it, I'll advise people to go for it. Go for what you want.
I took part in the fashion design aspect, and so I was able to learn how to code and sew.
The Impact Entrepreneur and Vocational Clinic, in conjunction with Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, Smeden, presents Vocational and Entrepreneur Skill Training. Register with us today and get certified in fashion design, cloth making, branding and customization, hairdressing and makeup, catering, digital skills, graphic design, affiliate marketing, and web design. We are set to offer you practicals and skills training with professionals from various Fields. Training commences 24th October 2022. Time 10 a.m. at Impact House. For further inquiries, call 0806-804-2576. All participants get certificate for training and also stands the chance of benefiting from available empowerment programs. Once again, you can call 0806-804-2576 or visit Impact House. Forms are currently available for just 5,000 naira. Remember, the question isn't who is going to let me, it's who is going to stop me. This is an opportunity you can afford to miss. Hurry now.
Do you need a reliable and super fast unlimited internet for your business and home use? If yes, iWorld Networks is your solution with our uptime affordable internet via fixed broadband. No data caps and throttling. You can enjoy your distance learning, business meetings, and family time with our reliable internet. With 24/7 proactive customer support and 99.8% uptime. We also provide connectivity for offices, schools, financial services, hotels, government, etc. We guarantee super fast Wi-Fi 6 technology for residential, SMEs, and enterprise businesses. Chat with us on www.iwn.ng. iWorld Networks, we've got you covered. Sign up and get connected today.
Appreciation. Mo dúpẹ́ oníbùwọ̀rẹ́ bàbá gbọ́ pẹ́ mi. A kú oríire. Rédíò àmútajérò IBR 92.5 FM pé ọdún méje. Ní ti pọ̀pọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ àjọ̀dún ọdún keje ìdásílẹ̀ iléeṣẹ́ rédíò Impact Business Radio IBR 92.5 FM rédíò àmútajérò tá a ti ṣe àwọn ètò alárinrin bọ̀ fún ìgbádùn ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ olùgbọ́ àti oníbàárà wa ẹ wá gbọ́ o ìròyìn ayọ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀yin oníbàárà àti olólùfẹ́ wa ó máa jàǹfààní ẹ̀dínwó ìdá ogún 20% discount lórí ìpolówó ọjà gbogbo oníléeṣẹ́ rédíò wa láti ọjọ́ kẹrìndínlọ́gbọ̀n oṣù kẹsàn-án sí ọjọ́ kẹrìnlélógún oṣù kẹwàá ọdún yìí ẹ wá jàǹfààní ọdún keje ìdásílẹ̀ ilé-iṣẹ́ wa ẹgbẹ́ ìpolówó ọjà yín wá kẹ̀sì gba ìdá ogún 20% discount lójú ẹsẹ̀ ilé-iṣẹ́ rédíò Impact Business Radio IBR 92.5 FM rédíò àmútajérò tó wà lójú ọ̀nà General Gas sí ìyànà Church Ìbàdàn ẹ wá ẹ̀já àjọ dáwọ́ ìdùnnú ká sì ṣe ìgbélárugẹ ọjà yín gbogbo fún àlàyé lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ẹ pè 0813-273-4094 lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí 0813-273-4094 àbí kẹ́ ẹ pè 0816-134-4353 0816-134-4353 torí kí iṣẹ́ yín ó bá lè ní ipa àti ìlọsíwájú náà la ṣe mú Tajérò ó yá ẹ wá bá wa yọ̀.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Bottom Line on Impact Business Radio, IBR 92.5 FM. We're talking politics. Buhari can improve his rating if he gives us food, security, and reduce the petrol price. Pastor Gabriel Odumbaku sent that message on the program. And this is Southwest. I'm expecting more of the bully. We'll see more troubles ahead. This is what presidential government has created in this country. It will eventually disintegrate Nigeria. Take it or leave it. Okay? May we witness peace. Let's keep all hope alive. Nigerian Police Force Oyo State chapter has debunked the attack which the APC claimed was orchestrated by auxiliary. APC should do away with politics of bitterness and should not be allowed to disrupt the relative peace of Oyo State. Ayodele from Alakia. Hayo Fagbemi says, President Jonathan have told us the truth about the tragedy the APC in power now is inflicting on Nigerians. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Hayo Fagbemi. Nnamdi Azikwe is from which region? Tijani Razak, okay, is from the southeast. All right. Now let me entertain calls. The numbers to call of those who have called in before and I didn't pick your call. This is time for you to repeat those calls. 0916 104 7698 0811 0526 0902 2809257. Hello, good morning.
Hello. Mr. Anu, hello.
Thank you.
the slogan "Wild
Your name, sir?
It's not peculiar to the Yorubas. It's imported from North America. And this is what they did to irritate our people. What made these people to be running around the street because of election campaign? When Awolowo started this whole campaign in 1959, he started it with helicopter in the face, saying, vote for AG, vote for Action Group, display everything throughout Ibadan here. There was no riot. But when it comes to the federal might, they would like to make people think that the people in Yoruba are wild. No, we are not wild. So nobody should come here and create problem for us.
All
if
right.
they want to be a president, let them display what Awolowo has done.
All right. Thank you so much, sir, for your time on the program. Hello, good morning. Okay, you're welcome,
The
sir.
problem in Nigeria is nothing but corruption. All those are confronting of the police, they give the that is all corruption. Our two issues corruption. The federal government said how money is being pumped to the federal for the take of the utilities. But also, right in the front of the house, also could not defend. What else is saying is that the officials in the university, the federal government have a dependency. They said they should ask how they are spending the money that is coming in. So the problem in Nigeria is corruption. Corruption everywhere. Corruption. This is the main problem of Nigeria, nothing else. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Kola from Ikire. Thank you for your time on the program. Tolulope Adeyemi on Facebook says, good morning, Anu. I think those who raised the first alarm in the state should be prosecuted and be held responsible for any breakdown of law in the state, because the report from the state police, which states otherwise, has shown that it was a fabricated lies, and we all know that it's not good for democratic system. Okay, Abiola Omotosho Adeleke, we all know the federal government is the one to enforce the police force with the necessary gadgets. The state government cares about the citizens and want the police forces to be more effective and secure. The state does not support them with gadgets and vehicles, which Oyo State has been doing. The federal government is the one who is not doing the right thing. We can't expect the police force of over 300,000 to be enough to protect over 2 million Nigerians. Okay, thank you so much for your time on the program. Let's check who is here. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Anu.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is Tolu.
Okay, Tolu, welcome.
Yes, I think those who raised that false alarm a few days ago prosecuted, and in fact they should be held responsible for any further break of law in the state, because the report from the state police, which states otherwise, has shown that it was a fabricated lie. And we all know that it's not good for our democratic system. See, I know APC with lies and deceit are like 5 and 6. And they are forgetting that the era of hoodwinking people with propaganda has gone in the state.
Okay.
And we don't want anything to tamper with this relative peace we are having in the state at the moment.
All right.
Thank you. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Tolu, for your time. Hello, good morning. Thank you. You're welcome.
As regards the allegation against Ogbeliari, when I read about it, I was very careful not to react, and of course be biased. Then I listened to a radio station, and the APC spokesperson claimed that he has evidence as in pictures and videos. Then I was on the digital age. If he has those proofs, he should release them on his social media handles. Then the truly auxiliary is guilty. Why can't they invite him for more interrogation? Has it become a needle that it cannot be found? Then the following day, the Oyo State Police Command released a statement that they were just false allegations. Let me just sum it over. This is politics and politicking error. But still, we should avoid libels or character assassination, and we should verify all pieces of information before we should make them go public. Good morning.
All right. Thank you so much, Bakizona Diran, for your time on the program this morning. As we wrap up the program this morning, let me come back to you, gentlemen. Peace is very important, very, very important. What do you expect of the people in days ahead? I start with you, Mr. Badejoko. What do you expect from the people? There are those who want to vote right, but asking the right question may be a little bit difficult for them. There are those that are being influenced and they can't stand this influence, as it were. How should the people approach the 2023 general elections?
One, they should be less emotional. They should not try to be more Nigerian than others, because these are things that there's nobody that will say that he is comfortable with what is happening with the hardship in the land. Even the government is not denying it. That's why the wife of the president had to be apologizing. So that should not blindfold us from reality. We should calm down and study these candidates very well. And if we are not politicians, we have no business around the venues of political rallies. Anything,
If you are not a politician,
if you are not a politician and you are not involved in partisanship in any way, if you hear that a rally is holding at Adama Singba and you have no business around that area for your own personal,
not even for solidarity purposes,
there should not be anything. Do your solidarity on your phone or within your neighborhood. You understand? Limit it to that level. If you are not a card-carrying member of any political party, whether old or new, you have no business around the venues of their rallies, because they will begin from Monday. Safety first. It is those who are alive that will cast votes in the election. And these people that you even want to kill yourself over do not know you. They are not even going there for your own interest. They are all going there for their own personal interest. We all must know. And these people are their friends. They are friends of each other. They've intermarried. They do business together. They club at night together. These are facts and they are the truth. So Nigerians should have that at the back of their mind. That don't kill yourself over Obi because you hate Buhari. Don't dislike Atiku because Buhari has cut off people's head in the north. You understand? You should be yourself. Look at them. Where are they coming from? What have they done? What potentials do they have? Going especially with the peculiarity of the Nigeria of today. We don't need a government that will go and be borrowing money. We don't need a government that will be selling our assets. We don't need someone that will be lying to us or trading blame game. They spoil everything before I get there. And that's why I could not do anything. All these things are what we should look out for. Ahead, we have enough time to do our study. My own personal study was what led to my discovery that I shared with our audience this morning. We should all do our own too and make our decisions through that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Eze. What do you expect of the people? How should the people conduct themselves this time around?
Thank you. The first thing is that all voters should walk with their conscience. If you allow money to take over your conscience, you make a wrong choice. So walk with your conscience. Secondly, let all that will be going out to vote ask themselves question. How do I cast my vote? Who do I cast my vote for? Make a personal choice. It's not because somebody has come to your place and there was a promise of vote and make better soup, and you decided to cast the election, and they will ask you, bring your PVCs, they snap it, they code the whole thing, and so on and so forth. So this time people should vote according to their conscience.
All right.
And those who want to vote should remember a situation where we are going to continue in this deep suffering and hardship in the country need to be put to a stop.
Thank you so much, Mr. Heze Harrison and Mr. Sumba Badejoko. Thank you so much for your time on Bottom Line today. It's good at times when you just have people who don't have anything at stake coming to analyze political development in the country and even in the state. I am Anuluwapo Omoride, not a final bye. By the special grace of God, I'll be back next week. See you then. Enjoy your weekend.
Faith follow. Impact Business Radio, IBR 92.5 FM.
Always first.